They say when someone wants to harm you, the signs are always there. You just have to be willing to see them. I wasn't ready to see the truth at first. But after that night when I overheard Sarah and Michael plotting in hushed, deadly whispers, there was no going back. My name is Chloe, and if you're listening to this, I want you to understand something. The worst kind of danger doesn't always come from strangers lurking in the dark. Sometimes it comes from the very people you share your table with, the ones who say they love you. I didn't sleep at all that night. I lay awake in my bed, staring at the ceiling, every nerve in my body on edge. The storm outside raged on, rain hammering against the windows like an army of tiny fists. Each clap of thunder seemed to echo the fear pounding inside my chest. Sarah's words replayed in my mind. Once it happens, no one will suspect us. And Michael's cold, bitter tone? By this time next week, she'll be gone. Gone. Me. They were talking about me. I had spent my whole life believing that family was my safe place, my anchor in a chaotic world. And now that belief was shattered. I turned over in bed, clutching my pillow tightly, and made a silent vow to myself. If they thought they could destroy me, they were wrong. I wouldn't go down without a fight. But first, I needed proof. The next morning, I forced myself to act normal. When I walked into the kitchen, Sarah was already there, humming softly as she brewed coffee. The air smelled rich and comforting, but to me, it felt poisoned somehow, tainted by what I now knew. "Good morning, Chloe," she said cheerfully, her tone bright and innocent. If I hadn't heard her the night before, I might have believed her. But now I could hear the venom beneath her honeyed words. "Morning," I replied with a tight smile, my voice calm and steady. On the outside, I was the same Chloe I'd always been. On the inside, my mind was racing. Michael strolled in a few minutes later, wearing that easy grin he always had. "Ah, my favorite cousin," he said, giving me a quick hug. "You look tired. Rough night?" My heart skipped, but I forced a laugh. "Yeah, just couldn't sleep, too much on my mind." He studied me for a beat longer than necessary, her eyes sharp and calculating, and then, just like that, he smiled again. "Well, try to get some rest today. You've been working too hard." Too hard, I thought bitterly. Too hard building a life they were plotting to steal from me? As I sipped my coffee, I watched them carefully. Every gesture, every glance between them. They were good at pretending, but now that I knew what to look for, I could see the cracks in their facade. Sarah's smiles lingered a little too long. Michael's jokes felt forced, hollow, and sometimes when they thought I wasn't looking, their eyes would meet in silent, secret communication. Later that day, I began my quiet investigation. I started small, checking places they might have left evidence, drawers, cabinets, even the trash. I didn't find anything at first, but then, tucked beneath a pile of old receipts, I found a handwritten list. At the top, in Sarah's elegant handwriting, were 3 chilling words. "After Chloe's gone." My blood ran cold. I scanned the list with trembling hands. It contained detailed notes, arrangements for my house, my company, even my personal accounts. They had already divided my life like scavengers fighting over a carcass. I swallowed hard, forcing myself not to panic. I couldn't confront them yet. If they knew I was onto them, they might act faster. Instead, I took photos of the list with my phone and carefully put it back exactly where I found it. Then I left the room, my face calm, but my heart thundering. That evening, I decided to test them. I told Sarah and Michael that I'd been invited to a networking dinner in the city. Their reactions were telling. Sarah's eyes lit up for a fraction of a second before she masked it with a polite smile. "Oh, that sounds wonderful," she said smoothly. "You should go. You deserve a night out." Michael nodded enthusiastically. "Absolutely. Go have fun. Don't worry about anything here. We'll take care of everything." The sweetness in their voices felt like a trap. I knew now that nothing they said was genuine. When I left the house, I didn't go to any dinner. Instead, I parked my car a few streets away and doubled back on foot. Moving quietly, I approached the house and peered through a slightly open window. Inside, Sarah and Michael were huddled together in the kitchen, their expressions tense and serious. "Are you sure about tonight?" Michael asked, his voice low. "What if something goes wrong?" Sarah's tone was ice cold. "Nothing will go wrong. This is our chance. Once Chloe out of the picture, everything falls into place." My breath caught. Tonight? They're planning to act tonight? I backed away from the window, my pulse racing. They thought I was miles away, but I was right there, listening to every word. I needed to be smart. I needed to survive. For the next few hours, I stayed hidden, watching as they moved around the house, preparing for something sinister. At one point, Michael left in his car, returning later with a heavy-looking bag he carried straight to the basement. I couldn't see what was inside, but I had a terrifying suspicion. Finally, around midnight, they settled in the living room, whispering to each other like conspirators in a dark fairy tale. My phone buzzed softly in my pocket. It was my best friend Emma, texting to check in on me. Normally, I would have answered immediately, but tonight, I didn't dare make a sound. Then, through the crack in the window, I heard Sarah's voice again. "Tomorrow," she said, her words sharp and certain. "Tomorrow night, Chloe will be gone for good." I stumbled back, my breath coming in shallow gasps. Tomorrow night? They were going to strike tomorrow night! I had less than 24 hours to save myself and to gather enough proof to bring them down. As Chloe retreats into the darkness, her mind races with fear and determination. She knows she has only one chance to outsmart them, but time is running out, and Sarah and Michael are always watching.